In the countless centuries before whites settled the Northwest, the land slumbered, quiet but for the roar of the surf, the songs of the birds, and the murmur of Indian voices. Nature, not man, dominated this landscape. Over time, the relationship between man and nature has changed. In contrast to the Native Americans who respected and understood the ways of the land, early white explorers considered the wilderness to be a frightening and inhospitable enemy. In the footsteps of these explorers came the pioneers, the first to attempt to conquer the wild lands. The advent of the Transcontinental Railway in the 1880s brought hordes of settlers to the Northwest. The population of Seattle alone grew from just 1,000 in 1870 to 43,000 2 decades later. To many, the seemingly inexhaustible supply of trees, fish, and land meant one thing: financial gain. Typical of the prevailing attitude was a scout who reported that the land lies like a beautiful young heiress, waiting to be appropriated and enjoyed. Yet out of this same era came another ethic, an ethic of preservation promoted by a different type of pioneer. Inspired by the region's scenic beauty, these men and women trekked the Northwest and reported back to the public in terms of reverence. On a dome of snow and ice, we stood midst an unbounded sea of the same, a majestic, a godlike peak. Concerned about the shrinking boundaries of the majestic wilderness, the early preservationists decried the advance of civilization. The forests are being felled and destroyed, the game slaughtered, the very mountains washed away, and the beauties of nature destroyed or fenced for private gain. National leaders such as Theodore Roosevelt and Forest Service Chief Gifford Pinchot supported and promoted the preservation efforts. Public awareness grew. Private organizations devoted to environmental action were established. The Sierra Club in 1892 and the Mountaineers a decade later. And in 1916, the federal government did its part by creating the National Park Service. Today, we are the heirs of these dual traditions, development and preservation. We must utilize the land's resources in order to survive, but we must also preserve some wilderness, a place, in the words of the Wilderness Act of 1964, where the earth and its community of life are untrammeled by man, where man himself is a visitor who does not remain.